are very happy and proud to be here in semifinal. We know our opponents are very, very strong players, but we have trained a lot during this week, and we will do our best to reach the final.
Let's go Monaco!
Well, there you have it, a very tasty one indeed going into the second semi-final of the day. The Italian side, Roma, they certainly have been consistent. They've been solid the whole way throughout this tournament. And part of that is down to the quality that they have added via their AS Roma club packs. All right, well, it's just about time to get the ball rolling then for game one of this fantastic semi-final clash between Roma and AS Monaco. So let's see who's going to be squaring off for this one. And this one will leave us with a lot to talk about, I have a feeling. It's Gagliardo against Nexa. Gagliardo was the player from Roma who has collected the least amount of points so far. No wins to his name, just the 2 points then. Having said that, Nexa, obviously we know he's been fit and firing early from today. He's already added more goals to his tally and shooting his way up the top of the goal scoring charts. Now, we talked about the approach and strategy throughout the day, and it's largely been a case of going from strongest to players that have not been delivering as you would like, maybe the weakest performers, just for a lack of better words. In this case, they've done the reverse order here, Roma, for today. Why do you think that they've done that?
I think it has something to do with the captain wanting to be that pivot player within that best of three. I anticipate Irma to be one of those players that wants to make sure that whether win or loss in game one, he's going to give his team a chance to make the finals regardless. So maybe that's why Gagliardo coming out first. It's going to be a tough one though, Wes, because Nexa, as Semra said, has been so good this season. He's chasing down the Golden Boot Award, don't forget. I think he's sitting on 11 goals so far with the Palmer on 12, but the Palmer's out of the competition now, so it's all for Nexa to try and steal that award away.
Yeah, and if by byproduct that he wins this game and then as a result gives his team a foothold in the semi-final, that'll be great for him. I think in terms of Gagliardo, I think we're anticipating, we're waiting for that kind of breakout performance from him this season. It hasn't quite clicked just yet. I think looking at the kind of the depth here though, that could be potentially what we're feeding into in terms of team selection. I think the other part to maybe look at from this scenario is we've just seen Celtic get dumped out of the competition. That coming in from being quite cold, as it were, to the game. Are Roma going to suffer the same fate? Because Nexa, as we saw earlier, free scoring, free flowing, has already been warned to the situation.
Well, Nexa starting off so well. The first opportunity. Catches the defense sleeping. Maybe they were still mentally in the changing rooms, but Nexa, his 12th of the season, to put Monaco up 1-0.
Well, we talk about commentators' curse and we talk about almost manifesting a goal. It's within the first 2 minutes of the game. It's a fantastic start for Nexa, fantastic start for Monaco. And again, it came from basically just a bit of a breakdown. Boadu gets a through ball in. It's Volland who takes a ferocious strike into the corner. I think you could put 2 or 3 goalkeepers in there, they wouldn't be saving that one. And Nexa proving exactly what Özmak Abel has been saying about him. He's the man for the big occasion. He's this guy in form.
Oh, we haven't even had a chance to welcome AS Roma to the knockout stages today. It's not the ideal welcome. I don't think Monaco are looking to roll out the red carpet for them, but now it's Gagliardo in possession. We'll see what the Italian club can do in terms of their aspirations, but watch out for Boadu if he can take this in stride, and he has! It could be 2, and it is! Two within 10, within 9, within 8 in-game minutes. Nexa rising to the occasion.
He's not hanging about, he's Nexa. He's not standing on ceremony. And again, we'll talk about it's one long ball, but it's a foot race between Mancini and Boadu. And Boadu, again, is one of the quickest players in this competition, and proved to be just so. Got around the other side of the defender, finds the back of the net, and Nexa now has the overall goal-scoring lead in the goal-scoring competition. So that will be something for him to consider, that he is now at the top of that table on his own as the long ball goes in again.
Surely not 3. Goal number 13 then for Nexa this season. What a talent he has been in his first season of the competition. The only other person I can think of to match him at this point would be Mestre. Of course, Mestre's Bayern München team are waiting in the grand finals for one of these 2 clubs. It's crazy to think only 15 or just over 15 in-game minutes have been and gone, and we've already got 2 goals for Nexa so far. Way to announce yourself in this semi-final.
Yeah, those 2 goals proving what we kind of said at the top of the broadcast, which is it doesn't always have to be pretty. It just needs to be effective. It doesn't need to be skillful. It doesn't need to be, you know, skill moves and double touches and all the rest of it. It just requires you to just be effective. And that's realistically where Nexa is right now. He's in this really effective mindset of going, okay, I have all of the trickery that I need in the locker. I have it all there to call upon. Instead, let's just be effective. And that's clearly what's happening here. It's trying to dislodge what has been a robust Roma defence, and instead just put a lot of pressure on it, and as such reaping the rewards of it early on in this game.
1-2 attempted by Gagliardo, but Nexa 1 step ahead. It has been such an impressive season from Nexa. Gagliardo, though, he's in here with Abraham. Strike parried back into danger, but the Monaco defence is a decent match to it that time around. Long ball to Boadu is going to be a focal point, you feel, maybe for Nexa in this first game. Always running in behind is Boadu. He might look for it again here. Over on that far side. 10 minutes to go, by the way, until half-time, which for Gagliardo may well be needed. It could be the regroup that he needs. Zaniolo looking to feed Jean on the near side. Something tells me there's going to be a fair few goals in this game to come. Mkhitaryan dispossessed. Important, of course, for Gagliardo not to give up at this point. Despite being 2 down, there is still so much to be played for.
Yeah, we've seen turnarounds at will in this competition so far. I think if you are, Nexa, I think the kind of the tactic here is realistically just to put these guys under pressure, as you see again going to Baudu.
Smalling physically taking care of business there. No minutes added on, so this will be the last attack of the first half. Nexa gets the ball back, and that will signal the end of the first half. A dream start. 2 goals within the first 10 minutes for Nexa, the young Frenchman.
And please join me in wishing a happy wedding
and at half time, it's regroup time for Roma. Regroup time for Gagliardo.
Capito? Quindi sta guidando a lanciare. Gioca il tuo gioco, ma gioca piano in avanti, senza troppi finti. Dai, veloce.
It's one thing being off the controller giving instructions. It's a very different thing being on the controller and being in control of things. Certainly everybody will be full of advice on what players should or shouldn't do. But until you're in this scenario, you won't really know what the tell is here. And it's the interesting point I want to kind of raise here with what Nexa is doing to Roma. We talk about players knowing their own teams as well as they should do in terms of knowing what their capabilities are. It seems as though they have done, or at least Nexa, at least at this point, has done a bit of work on what the weaknesses are of the Roma team, which is that they're not as quick across the ground. Yes, they're physically imposing, but across the ground in terms of ball control and things like that, in terms of especially at their back line, is that they're not quite adept at having the ball on the floor. So having these types of balls, having long balls over the top, having those abilities certainly seems to be what is working so well for Monaco at the moment, is just causing that kind of pace deficiency in that Roma backline.
Perhaps some tells of the AS Monaco team that they were anticipating a semi-final spot. They're here and now, and the game plan's worked so far. Gagliardo, though, with Mkhitaryan to put the ball across. Pulls Nubel into action. It's definitely in this type of competition where, sure, it's Dream Team, but you are locked at 2,300 collective team strength. You have to know not only the strength of your squad, but also the weaknesses of your opponents. So, as Monaco have a free kick here, and Ben Yedder will step up, and it's off the mark. You've always got to be looking forward in this competition, and one thing that, well, I was going to say maybe both of these clubs will be doing is looking at Bayern, who await them in the final. But first and foremost, Wes, we have to focus on this semi-final.
Yeah, and you can't look past it. You can't look past any games here, even if you are, say, as Maccabeal and Guifera, you might be looking at this going, wow, Nexa was 2 goals up in the space of, 10 in-game minutes. Oh, well, this will be easy for us. It could be just as complex.
Oh, Follens makes it 3. His second of the game past Rui Patricio. Puts Nexa now well and truly head and shoulders above the rest of the goal-scoring competition, and puts him in a commanding lead here in game 1.
My maths served me right. It's 14 goals across all games in this competition for Nexa so far. Free scoring, almost an assassin. No emotion that comes out of him when he scores. It's eerily reminiscent of how Lotvi normally is in his types of games. A very Iceman-like kind of personality, where he's just kind of just like, it's fine. It's another game. But again, in terms of the psychological edge that this may provide, if you're Roma, you're seeing Gagliardo get put to the sword very, very quickly here. you might be looking on if you're his Roma teammates and thinking, oof, we might be in for a bit of a day here.
Well, whoever does turn up in game 2 for AS Roma, if things stay the same, will have a big performance that is needed. Because right now, Nexa, he's done his job. So far, anyway. What can Gagliardo have to say for himself here? Just dwelling on the ball somewhat as we enter the final 20 here in game 1. And to Abraham, that's what Gagliardo's been looking for. On the ball once more, stunning strike is away, but off of a defender, out for a corner.
Yeah, you can just see he's just struggled to really get into this game from the get-go. You know, again, that kind of early salvo, the early 2-goal salvo from Nexa really has kind of taken that psychological edge out of the game. It's not as prominent as you probably think. If it was 1 goal and you were only 1-0 down at half time, it's an easier team talk than when you're potentially 2 goals down, and especially as things stand at the moment, being 3 down is it's going to be very, very difficult from here.
Joe, 4 heures pour lui. 3-0 ma gueule. 3-0, je l'ai déjà suivi quand l'autre film avait juste ça.
The body language of these players is always fascinating because Nexa so much a perfectionist that once that dribbles out for a corner, he's almost looking like he's the man that is 3 down currently.
Substitutions taking place.
That is what makes these great players as good as they are, that attention to detail and not wanting to give anything away.
But in terms of a finishing score for Nexa, in terms of the teammates that you've got certainly behind you, in terms of advice boards or sounding boards, they're greater players to have on your team.
Oh, it's dangerous here as Roman players are going to ground. They're still wrestling for this, and Abraham is fed. And the celebrations can't go on for too long because 15 minutes left to get at least 2 goals back. There is 1 for Roma, but you need 2 more.
Yeah, it's a little bit of collision central, as we saw there, just players just bouncing off of one another in the penalty box. Again, it's who can just about get there, and as we saw there, it's a Roma player who gets there. It's Abraham who sweeps it home. It's 3-1. It's not beyond the realms of possibility that we could see a comeback here. It's just, in terms of the likelihood and the probability of it, you'd probably look at it and go, with 13 minutes to go, you're going to need some pretty quick goals if you're Roma. Whereas you might have, in the way of Nexa, you may have somebody just looking to kill this game off.
Oh, what a flip of the script it would be if it were to happen, but you still have Boadu on the pitch. You still have that long ball threat you have to keep tabs on. It's improbable but not impossible. And that's a lovely ball over the top to Ben Yedder. The goalkeeper has come and missed it, and it's 4. 4-1. It's a bit of a drubbing for a semi-final, but credit to Nexa. He's made it certain now with 4.
Yeah, and it's long ball. It's long ball, it's over the top. And as we said, it isn't the prettiest way to score on eFootball, and it certainly won't be the most complex type of goal you'll score. But it's long ball, it's over the top. Monaco player gets there before the goalkeeper, sweeps home for 4-1. It's crude, but it's effective. And again, at this level, at this stage of eFootball Championship Pro, what do you want to be? Do you want to be the entertainers, or do you want to be the winners? That's the choice you've got to make.
Mkhitaryan here trying to find El Shaarawy, but that 4th goal really does kill off any hopes of a Roma comeback here in game 1. If you're just joining us, it is a best of 3. So still potentially 2 more games for Roma to turn this around in, but Game one is well and truly gone. Only consolations up for grabs at this point in time. For Nexa, he's thinking about the golden boot. He's still wanting to chase more goals, more accolades in what has been a star-studded first season. And, well, he's given away a penalty here, I believe. So there'll be another goal on the board, potentially, for Gagliardo, if he can tuck this away. Won't matter too much in the grand scheme of things, but Stefan El Shaarawy is able to score. And it makes it 4-2. A decent penalty, Wes. But there's no way the comeback can happen now.
Yeah, I don't think the comeback is on, not from here. I think if you look on the clock just to your left that's flashed up, it's a clear penalty. Cao Enrique's brought him down. Decent slot away from Stefan El Shaarawy. And again, I think 4-2 maybe flatters Roma a little bit in this game because they've just not been at the races. But much of that is a credit to Nexa and to Monaco because they've just not been allowed to. And looking at the way that this game goes, if you're looking for a blueprint on how to beat AS Roma, this is pretty much up there in terms of how to do a demolition job on an opponent.
Well, potentially some glaring holes to be filled in the boat of AS Roma, and they don't have much time to fill those holes because you do have game two coming very, very shortly. But game one is gone. It is going the way of AS Roma. They have 1 foot in the grand finals. And they started off so well. I believe that's the quickest goal of the tournament so far in under 2 minutes. And it really set the pace, didn't it, Wes?
I don't even think supporters had their bums in seats at that point because it was so quick from AS Monaco. And as you quite rightly said, they're certainly looking to have 1 foot into the final with this performance. And again, it was that proponent of the long ball. Curiously, if you're looking at it from a player or a fan standpoint at home, it always came, that long ball came from ball goes to the left back plays the ball flowing forward. And it gives those pacey forwards that, you know, Monaco have in abundance through Volland, through Baudu, through Ben Yedder, Diatta if he ever comes onto the field. It was able to get a hold of it, and it was a great little dinked ball in there to Baudu. And again, to find the ball across, again, it's finding players at the back post, swiped home. And it was Monaco's to lose for a long period of that game, and they managed to kind of, you know, Roma getting themselves luckily back into the game. I think, like I said, I think the scoreline flattered them just a little bit. But I think, you know, Monaco well worth their victory there.
Of course, the Romans at this point, 3-1 down. It was looking with, you know, about 15 or so in-game minutes left on the clock. Like a comeback could happen. Then this goal from Ben Yedder. And Nexa is, what was that, 14th, 15th of the season? You lose track at this point. To 15th. Make it certain, 15th of the season. A penalty at this point from El Shaarawy tucked away, and unfortunately we couldn't get too excited about it for Roma fans because it was a mere consolation at that point. But they have games 2 and 3, potentially 3, ahead of them now. Semra, a dream start for Monaco. Nexa continues to impress.
A dream start for Monaco, Nexa, but mamma mia from Roma. That was the worst way to start their pursuit of trying to book a place in the final. It probably couldn't have gone much worse, could it have? In the end, it was Nexa who really was very much in the comfortable driving seat from start to finish. He was a very dominant performance from him, and as you well say, he's now the leading scorer outright of the competition thus far with 15 and counting to his name. So having said that, let's see if his teammate can pick up up where he's left off and continue to score more goals. And by the looks of this, wow, this is going to be a really tantalizing matchup, one in which probably doesn't get much better than this. We've got another captain's affair between Urma and Uzmakabil. Urma, obviously, no matter what happens in the case of Roma, he will leave this competition with at least a prize as the best player of the group during the group stages, of course. And he's infallible. He's picked up 7 of 15 points for them, and he has yet to lose a game. Having said that, he's going up against Uzmakabil, one of the best players in the world and in the history of eFootball. And I think what's so exciting about this one is that you have on the one hand in Urma, who is one of the most informed players of this particular season, going up against one of the most informed players in history, but on top of that, who found his mojo earlier today. It's a really tough one to call, this one.
Yeah, it really is, because this is kind of the matchup I anticipated. I'm surprised to have not seen Guerrero start so far. We may well see that, well, we will see that in Game 3 if it goes that far. But when we were questioning why Gagliardo was going out first, I think this is why. I think you want your captain, Urma, who, as you said, Semra, has found form in this competition already this season, to be in a kind of win-win situation. If you're Game 2, it's like, okay, well, if my teammates won the first game, I can put us in the final, or if he's lost it, I can give us that second chance. So maybe that's the thinking here from Roma, but it was Uzmakabil on the other side. I mean, need we say more?
Yeah, well, as the old saying goes, styles make fights, and play styles in this instance certainly make great games of eFootball. This one looks like probably the hottest ticket in town. Urma, who again has proved throughout this tournament just how good he is, versus, as Sarah pointed out, a player who's now found his mojo.
We're wasting no time as Bawadu! Did I say Nexa's goal was the fastest of the tournament? Well, scratch that. Uzmakabil on the board within 1 minute.
I get the feeling he doesn't like anybody else having any records. I really get that vibe with Uzmakabil. Again, no sooner had we got into the game, it's a triangle of passes, and again, taking ownership and taking control of Roma's deficiencies at the back, in the sense of slow and sluggish defenders, at least in their legs. It causes issues. It causes issues. And no sooner have we, got into it, that we've seen it, and they're poking holes in it for absolute fun here, in again.
Yeah, Bawadu in again, and this time the manual goalkeeping is definitely needed. But we mentioned holes in the defense, holes in the proverbial Roma ship. They are holes that need to be plugged, and very soon, or this could get very ugly. Corner cleared away. But the more and more I'm seeing from the runs in behind from Bawadu, the more that we're starting to believe that this was definitely a designed game plan. The referee has seen something he's not a fan of. And credit to Monaco, they've done their research, they've had a little look at the weaknesses and no doubt the strengths as well of this Roma lineup.
Yeah, that's the key. Not only have they learnt their own game plan, they've looked at what makes Roma so strong, and also, in effect, what's their weakness. And again, it's ball in at the feet of the likes of Smalling and likes of Mancini. It can be problematic, but...
Look out for Jean as he strikes the near post. Saved this time around, but... Roma, they're going to have to keep tabs on Bawadu. They're going to have to be constantly playing catch-up. If they do not do so. Corner then, swung in. Spinazzola with the stunning strike, and Zaniolo is there to try and reclaim. Game 1 went Monaco's way, as you see at the top of your screen. So Roma, in this best of 3, need a result. They have plenty of bodies forward, but can't find a single one. Golovin versus Smalling. Free kick then to Monaco. Smalling gives the foul away. Zaniolo now goes for goal, and maybe there were better options on there. 20 minutes gone. Credit to Irma though, he's come back into this game and realised this may well end up in a straight shootout between himself and a 3-time world champion, be it penalty shootout or otherwise.
Yeah, and if you're anticipating that a player could find, you know, a bit of strength and a bit of a way forward, it'd be Irma. You know, we saw in the group stage with his game against the Palma, you know, a lot was made of, you know, how is he going to combat that result, and came out and come up trumps for his team there. You know, my question to you, Harry, is potentially, if this doesn't go the right way, as we'll see the play potentially break through here, but as we think about it, we could potentially be looking at both group toppers of the group stage be in the 3rd and 4th place playoff, and I'm not sure how many people would have predicted that at the start of the day.
Well, it was a hypothetical question that you posed when we had our bracket populated last week. Do you prefer to be in a quarter-final and get games under your belt as an early strike comes in again? Do you prefer to be the team that is having those quarter-final games? Maybe it's beneficial to you that you don't bypass that round. So far, that theory is proving true.
Seems to be a common thread, that high-pitched French tone whenever things are not going quite the way you want it to go.
Wouldn't say that to his Maccabeel's face, of course, but there's a strike from Roma and Irma. As Maccabeel is getting more and more animated. He feels this 1-goal lead is a very slender one indeed. Once again, not things we would say to his Maccabeel's face. Roma though, with the corner. Lovely double touch by Mkhitaryan. What can he conjure up here? Nothing that evades the goalkeeper's hands.
It's like I said before, you won't like him when he's angry, and it's a brilliant ball through from a goal kick, but just couldn't quite get there. And again, the more, like I said, the more things that don't go in as Maccabeel's favour, I think the more likely you are to see a goal from him.
Watch out for Boadu, and Ben Yedder is there, and it is very wide. Very wide indeed. The opportunity to double the lead comes and goes in a flash. Lovely interchange between Jan and Abraham, and it is the former to strike the equaliser. Lovely build-up play from Irma. And Roma, they are back on level terms.
It's almost like the block from Monaco's defender actually did them no favours. As the goalkeeper was trying to read it, as we'll see it probably from a perfect angle here. It's a good little interchange of play there. See, the goalkeeper has read or tried to read that shot going through the defender. Instead, I'm not even sure. He may even get a hand on the second opportunity, which would even be even more so. Let's have a look at it from this angle. Goes straight at the keeper. It does just get a hand on it. So the fortune for Roma, they are, they're back to level terms in the most fortuitous of fashions. But now it's going to go back again the other way. Let's see how this game will break out, because at the moment it's looking very open once more.
The question I was asking myself in my mind moments before that goal went in is, with the clear instructions to try and get it long to the likes of Ben Yedder and Boadu, do Monaco come very close, dangerously close to becoming a bit one note here, Wes? If Irma is able to adjust, what second options, what plan Bs are there in place here for this Maccabiel and Monaco?
Well, the thing is, if you look at their midfield, it's Tuchemeni, it's Golovin. They're looking at maybe bringing those players, and maybe rather than having a defensive line that potentially driving Roma's defensive line backwards, instead they may have spaces in midfield that they can drive into with those midfielders. So again, it then becomes a kind of a case of, can you bait their defence out of their defensive shape? Because of course, Roma's line are going to drop back and back and back to try and protect against that over-the-top through ball. Instead, you need to then maybe take it another way. Now, us Maccabiel will know this, to the nth degree. He'll know what he's got to do to make this team successful. But on the flip side of it, it's going to be Irma and Roma that are going to grow in confidence as time goes on, if the longer it stays like this. But you see there, long ball.
It's Boadu in again, one-on-one, and the defender, I think that's Chris Smalling, does enough there just to put his Maccabiel off. He was waiting, I think, for some goalkeeper movement, but forgot the defender giving chase was still a part of that equation. Go ahead, Wes.
I think as Maccabiel tried to, as you said, tried to bait out the goalkeeper, had realised that he probably didn't even need to. I think if he'd have just shot on that, I'd love to see a replay of that when we see the highlights. But I think had he have just pulled the trigger, that's a goal. And I think that's what even he knew, even with the oncoming tackle from Smalling. I think even he realised the chance that was there.
Just a subtle jab to remind Irma, hey, you have to keep tabs on this. Otherwise, I'm going to make you pay. Here is Veretout now. Turning inside the box. This one evenly poised. 10 minutes in to the second half. Roma 1, Monaco 1. A reminder, this is a game that Roma and Irma has to win.
The attendance for this match was 71,649.
Mkhitaryan, Roma just can't quite find the pass that is needed. Way down the line is Maccabiel, and Ben Yedder is further inside here. Still going! He's back in front! A wonderfully worked goal by the three-time world champion. 2-1 Monaco.
In more ways than one, when you're in trouble and you need help, you look to the captain. It's Wissam Ben Yedder, got the ball down the line, got the ball inside. Now again, we talk about doing things that are different. The ball for Monaco has been left back, cross field, over the top. Instead there, down the line, instead all of a sudden now turns into a different type of defensive scenario that you've got to account for. And again, it's doing things out of the ordinary. And again, getting that opportunity, the neat little turn inside, finds the back of the net, and all of a sudden Monaco now are very much back in the driver's seat once more.
Moments away from a place in the grand finals.
Oui, oui, allez, allez.
Substitution for Monaco. Number 17.
We're underway after the goal.
11.
Monaco 2,
Number
Roma
31.
1.
Coming on the field. Number 37. Number
A
27.
reminder, we are playing a best of 3 here. Because Monaco have won game 1 already. If things stay as they are, Monaco would join Bayern München in the grand finals to be played tomorrow. Unless Irma with Abraham and Co can find an equaliser in that time frame. Zaniolo is in the box here, but is offside. Bit of a let-off there, you have to say, for AS Monaco.
Yeah, it's a big let-off because Zaniolo was in a lot of room there, and it probably would have taken a challenge from us Maccabeal to stop him there, and that would have been a penalty. As such, though, offside decision given right on the field. And it's back to Roma again to see what Irma can do here.
Abraham weaving, stunning strike, and it stings the palms of the Monaco keeper. Now, what points, if you're Ismail Maccabeal, do you maybe let go of your pride and start to play a bit more defensive here?
I mean, I don't know. That's the key question. I don't think Usman Maccabeal has that gear. I don't think he has the gear where he wants to let up the kind of the pressure. I think here it's going to be telling to see whether he can find it here and now.
I believe that was a lobbed finish attempt, but not going to trouble the Monaco keeper that time around. Irma is going to feed off of this. Mkhitaryan has been physically challenged there. The Roma fans wanting something given in their favour. The referee unmoved once more. Route 1 to Bouadou. He's won his battle against Mancini as well. Has players arriving, but not for Mancini at the back. Ten in-game minutes to go. Roma's season on the line. Fofana. Diop as well. Can't quite get the ball across in time, and that will gift possession here to Irma and Roma. Forward to Abraham was threatening to get in, and Irma we saw there in his camera just physically frustrated as time further ticks down. Great tackle by Usman Maccabeal. So here we go then, entering last chance saloon. Usman Maccabeal still trying to push the pace. It's at the right end of the field for him. Ben Yedder
minutes has been indicated.
is going to that corner flag. Into the second of two added on. And it's looking like Monaco will be returning to the final of an eFootball Championship Pro competition. The full-time whistle blows. And Monaco in straight games, they best Roma 2-0.
And we